friends, welcome back to my channel. This today is a very special video because I am super lucky. I've got four gorgeous and handsome godchildren, and my eldest goddaughter Caitlin had asked me to do a video which shows how younger people can wear makeup, but not too much, because obviously mums and dads don't like you wearing too much makeup. And you know, you're still young, your skin needs to breathe. You don't want to put too much makeup on it. So Caitlin, sweetheart, this video is just for you. This is the look that I've done. See? Peachy eyes, shiny lip gloss. I hope you like it. If you do, stay there, because here comes the tutorial. And do you know my song yet? You gonna sing it with me? Go on. When will I be YouTube famous? Here's your tutorial, Caitlin. Hi, welcome back from the intro. Okay, first thing you do need to know before you put anything on your face is you have to take care of your skin. If you don't look after your skin, when you get older, no matter how much makeup you put on top of it, it's not going to look nice. It's not going to look healthy. It's not going to have a nice glow to it, which is what we all want. You know, as adults, we wear makeup to enhance our skin. You shouldn't ever have to wear makeup to hide your skin. And particularly if you are just getting into makeup. You know, you're heading up to secondary school maybe, and you're aware that you want to start perhaps popping a little bit of makeup on. Don't overload your skin too young. Your skin is still developing, and you don't want to put anything onto it that's going to upset the balance of your skin. Okay, so I'm going to start with cleansing the skin. Then skincare in terms of creams, spot creams, moisturisers, SPF, so yeah, sunscreens. All of these things are vitally important before you even think about putting makeup on. Okay, so you're out of the shower, your face is clean, but I get into a habit of just using a makeup wipe first, just in case there's any residual soap that hasn't quite rinsed off properly, or I don't know, maybe you've had your breakfast after you've got out of the shower, so you might have got, you know, if you had jam on your toast or something, you might have got a wee bit sticky. It's also a really nice feeling in the summer. It's very cooling. First thing in the morning, just to quickly run a makeup wipe over. Alright? And then the next thing that's very important, particularly as you hit puberty, when, for most of us, that's when our skin starts producing a lot of oil. It's when we see a lot of changes to our skin, and it's when, if you're going to start getting spots arriving, that's when they arrive. So I'm actually using the last one in this tub, but always prepared. Have a full tub, I haven't started yet. And I get this from Superdrug, and it is pore cleansing pads. Okay. See if it'll focus on that and not me. There we go. And if you look at these pads, you can see they have texture to them. Now, don't press too hard with these. You don't want to hurt yourself, but just very gentle, light, circular motions around your skin, on your face. Just helps to buff off any dry skin, dead skin cells, similar to how you would do when you put a lip scrub on. you're exfoliating your lips, you're getting rid of all the dead dry skin on it. Be very, very careful with the skin under your eyes, that's the most delicate. These bits here and here are the thinnest parts of the skin on your face. If you imagine that if your skin was paper, the skin on your body would be like an exercise book paper. Okay, the skin on the bottom of your feet and your elbows would be thicker, so more like the exercise book cover, possibly cardboard, depending on how dry the skin on your feet gets. The skin on your face is a lot thinner, and the skin under your eyes is like tissue paper. That's how you need to try and think of it. So this area here is very delicate, don't pull it around any more than you have to. Okay? So once you've done that, you've now got your clean skin, you're ready to go. If you have any breakouts, you want to pop a spot cream just on the areas that you have breakouts. Now at the moment, I'm actually reasonably okay. I've got some discoloration from spots that I had as a teenager, but thankfully at the moment, at least, my skin's not too bad. Now, I haven't used this very long myself, but a friend of mine, Lydia, has used this. This is a tea tree cream from Boots, and she says that has done absolute wonders for her skin and cleared up all of her spots. Okay, so you want a specific spot cream for any breakout areas. For the rest of your face, it's important to get a moisturiser. Now you're still very young, so you're not going to have the need for all these super rich, super thick creams. You're going to want something more this sort of texture. You see that running down my finger? And just very gently. You should moisturise morning and night, because obviously your face is exposed to the air all the time. So just really gently put your moisturiser on. You can get special moisturisers for under eyes, but if you're using a light enough moisturiser, because as someone who is still lucky enough to have very lovely skin, you don't need the super thick creams. You want something quite light. You're not like me, you're not in your 40s, you're not in your 30s, you're not even in your 20s. You might not even be in your teens yet. So, if you're unsure what's going to be the best cream for you, then go to someone like Boots or Superdrug and ask a member of staff, and they will be able to tell you what the best cream is for you, for your skin. And what works for your skin could be something completely different to a friend of yours who's exactly the same age as you. You could have completely different skin types. Okay? Now, the moisturiser I've just put on has got sunscreen in it. If the moisturiser you are using doesn't have sunscreen in, now is the time to apply a thin layer of sunscreen to your face. Even in the winter, even though the sun isn't hot, it still has the ability to affect your skin. So if you get into the habit every morning of putting a sunscreen on your face, I promise you, when you are my age, you will thank yourself for it. Okay? Using sunscreen helps prevent not just burning of the face, it helps prevent formation of fine lines, because it's sun damage that causes, initially at least, a lot of fine lines that start appearing. You normally start, I started to notice mine in my 20s, because when I was 10, 11 years old back in the 80s, people didn't really care about sunscreen. You only put it on in the summer, and then that was to get a tan. It wasn't to protect your skin, it was to try and emphasise your tan. Okay, so we've washed our face, we've targeted any spots that we have, we've moisturised, and we put sunscreen on. Now we need to make sure all of that has dried down before we put makeup on. Now, you don't have to use this, but obviously, unless you want to see me sitting here twiddling my thumbs for 5 minutes while this dries down, which wouldn't be very interesting for you, I'm just going to use this pretty fan just to dry off. Now, I understand that a lot of you will probably have parents who don't want you to wear a lot of makeup. And they're not saying that to be a killjoy, they're saying that because your skin is beautiful and you don't need makeup. But I've been your age, I completely understand the want to wear makeup. Okay, so this video will give you enough makeup so that you feel you're wearing makeup, but not so much that your parents don't like it. Alright, so come in a little bit closer and we'll start talking about the makeup. Now you can see where I'm old and I don't sleep very well because I have a lot of pain. I have very dark circles here. Okay. You probably won't have those. Probably the only thing you will need concealer for is if you do have a spot that's very bright or very, bright red, the ones that come up. You may not have had them yet, but I can understand when you do get them, you want to cover them up. And if you do have slight darkness here, that's what you use a concealer for. Now I'm going to go in with this Revolution Conceal and Define. Again, this is suitable for my skin. You will need this is a full coverage concealer because we can see I've got a lot that needs covering up because I'm a lot older than you. But, again, speak to a member of staff when you go shopping, or take your mum, take your big sister, take your godmum, take someone with you who can advise you the best concealer for your skin. You could be lucky, you may not need to use one. I do. If you do, this is how to use it. If you've watched other beauty YouTubers, you'll probably see them do these huge great triangles of concealer. You don't need that much. They do that because they need it to look good on camera. Alright, in real life we don't need that much. Literally, for me, because I've got very dark circles, I do 4 dots. Okay, you might only need 1 or 2. You might not need any. I also have a very dark dimple just there. See? So I like to cover that up. And although I haven't got spots, as I said before, I've got some darker areas on my face where I had spots when I was younger, and I picked at them and I squeezed them. I live with these dark marks. Don't pick your spots. Don't squeeze them. I know it's tempting. Even now when I get them it's tempting. But try not to. Now you can either use a brush to blend this out. And I use a brush like this, which is a flat foundation brush. Or you can use your hand. Make sure your hands are clean before you touch your face when you're putting makeup on. Okay? Now, if you're going to use your hand to put this concealer in, the finger you should use is your ring finger, because this is the one that puts the least pressure on your skin. And you very, very lightly tap. So tap, tap, tap. And you can hear I'm barely touching that. As I said, I've got a lot more to cover up than you have. This is a very high coverage concealer. You won't need one this thick. Okay, so you can see you don't have to use a brush to do this, but if you do want to use a brush, I'll show you with this side how I do it. So I start off very gently on this inside corner here and gently stroke that down the side, see? And then, as we did with my finger, gently patting backwards and forwards until and you do pull really funny face when you're doing it, or at least I do. If you do too, enjoy it. It's not often you get to pull a funny face for get away with it. Okay, so you can see both eyes covered, one using my finger, one using a brush. If you use a brush, that face wipe you just cleaned your face with, just clean your brush with it, okay? Now you need to clean your brushes at least once a week, once every 10 days. But by taking any excess off like this, it means that when you do clean your brushes, it's a much quicker job. Alright, now your skin won't need foundation yet because your skin will be glowing with youth. So what I suggest, if you want to even things out and just make it feel like you're wearing makeup, so you feel more grown up, it's a bit rubbed off because it's been in my handbag. This is Rimmel Stay Matte and it's a pressed powder. Okay, this is in the lightest shade, transparent. And then I'm going to get a very big fluffy brush like this, swirl it around, tap it on the side so we knock any excess powder off of the brush, and then circular motions like we did with the little exfoliating deep cleaning pore pad, and just very gently pop a little bit of powder on. Alright, if you put too much on, then just sweep it with an empty brush and you can sweep most of it off, okay? Always remember it's much better to put too little on and have to add a wee bit more than it is to put too much on and have to try and take it off again, okay? So you can see that's just stopped me from being too shiny and has evened out where I put that concealer on. It's now not so obviously a difference in colour. Alright? Next thing, brows. Now I want you to promise me that you don't start plucking your brows until you are 16, because at the moment your brows are still deciding what shape they want to be. Do they want to be straight ones like mine? Do they want to have curves to them? Until you're 16 you don't really know how thick your brows are going to get. So, sorry, I'm about to sneeze. No, I think I stopped it. Oh dear. Oh, I do apologise. Okay. You don't know how thick your brows are going to get. But if you want to do, if they are a little bit springy and bushy, this from Essence, which I get from Wilkinson's, is called a Lash and Brow Gel Mascara, and you can see it's completely clear. Alright? So all we do, unscrew the wand, scrape any excess off at the end, very lightly, just gently brush through your brow, like this. with the gel. You really don't need very much at all. And all this does is helps to tidy the brows up a little bit without having to pluck them. And just gives them a nice shape. Okay? How quick was that? Another thing that you'll probably see older people doing, which you don't need to, is they'll start doing things like contour and bronzer, but that's because they've put foundation on which has taken all of the colour out of their skin. All we've got on is a bit of powder. If you decide you want to add a little bit of colour back into your cheeks, what I suggest is a nice, I mean obviously I'm very pale, so I go for a very pale shimmery blush. If you've got darker skin than me, then you go for a slightly darker one. But you don't want a blush that's going to be too bright or too dark for your skin. Okay? So we're going to get a slightly smaller brush than the powder brush we've just used. This is the powder brush. This is the smaller brush that I'm using to do my blusher. Okay? You can see this has got 3 different colours, which is very pretty. And you can use those as eyeshadows if you want. Each individual stripe of it. What we're going to do is swirl that brush around in there to pick up all 3 colours, tap off any excess, and then when we smile, these bits of our cheeks come up. So these are the bits that we put the blusher on. Very, very lightly, not very much at all, because we've not really covered our skin up, have we? Just need to, if you want, pop a little bit of pink on our cheeks, or peach, or whatever shade suits you. Now that is pretty much, your skin done. So now, if you want to put some colour on your eyes, now I've actually got, as you can see, I've got quite dark eyelids. So what I'm going to do, you won't need to do this. I've only got this because I'm very old compared to you. I'm just going to put a few dots of the concealer on. Otherwise you won't really see the colour of the shadows that I'm putting on. And all I do with this is just lightly brush it across my eyelid like this. As I said, I doubt very much that you need to do this step, but I do. And straight away, clean the brush off. You can rub it in with your fingers if you do need to do that with your eyelids too. And then I always find, before you put any powders on your eyelids, going back into them with the Rimmel Stay Matte, I'm just going to dust a little bit of powder across it, because powder eyeshadow blends much easier on powder than it does on a cream. Now, the eyeshadow palette I'm going to use today is a really pretty one, and the box looks like this. If I come back a bit you can see it looks like a melted chocolate bar, and it's called Chocolate and Peaches. And when you open it up, got a nice big mirror up the top here, and all these lovely beautiful peachy shades. You do have one of these sponge tipped applicators which you can use to put eyeshadow on with, but I find that tends to put it on a little bit heavy, so I prefer to use a brush to put mine on with. And it also comes with a little plastic sheet to tell you the names, you see, of the different shadows. Now what I'm going to do, I'll try and put a thing up on screen somewhere to show you which shadows I'm using from this palette today. Now I'm going to use 2 different brushes. I'm going to use a rounded brush like this, which when you turn it to the side is quite flat. That's known as a packer brush. And then I'm going to use a fluffier brush, which is, as you can see, completely different shape, particularly when you look at the top of them. Look, see? So I'm going to start off and I'm going to pick one of the ever so slightly shimmery shades, the ones that have got a little bit of shine to them. And you can tell that by when you hold the light up to it. Can you see some of them have a little bit of a glow and reflect back at you? Those are your shimmery shadows. Alright, and I'm just going to go into this peachy one here because I think that's a really pretty colour. I'm going to use our flat packer brush and just pick up a little bit of colour on the brush. And I'm just going to zoom you in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing a bit easier. And then I'm just going to follow the shape of my eyeball round. And with this shimmery shadow, just colour in the bit of my eyelid that moves. Alright, so you're literally just putting a little tiny wash of colour across your eyelid, like this. And then what we're going to do is exactly the same thing to this eye. So we follow the shape of our eyeball like this, and then we pretty much colour it in. See that? And then what I've got down here, this is a special sponge called a colour switch, and you can use this to clean colour off of your brush. If you don't have one of these, you can use a bit of kitchen roll, you can use an old flannel or a face wash towel or something. Alright, now I'm going to pick up this brush, this rounded one, and I'm going to go into one of the shadows that doesn't shine. Let me zoom you back out a little bit just so you can see them. So when I do that, you can see there are shadows that don't actually shine. Now, we don't really want to go dark like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into this nice light brown here. Bring it back in again. And we're just going to pick up, just with the very tip of the brush bristles, just tap them very lightly like that, and then tap any excess off of the brush, because otherwise that'll all fall on your cheeks and then you're going to have lots of freckles that you might not want. Alright, and then we put this looking down, we put it just at the corner of our eye there, we run it along the top of our eyeball like this, and then just at the very edge add a tiny little bit of colour. Don't worry about this bit because you can just give it a bit of a rub with your finger and it soon disappears. Alright, and you can see that just makes it a little bit, I mean for most days you can just do that. You can just put one colour on your lid and that's you done. But if you've got a party to go to, then you can add this second colour, just run it across the top of the first one you've put down, and then just on the very edges add a little bit of extra colour there. Right, and then what we're going to do, we're going to wipe our brush as clean as we can get it. Get as much of the shadow off as we can. So now we're not adding any more colour to it, but we're just going to very gently buff backwards and forwards like this, just to blur the edges so we don't have any hard lines, because we want a nice soft look. As I said, you only really need to do this bit if you're going to a party or it's the weekend and you want to look a little bit different, but you know, you can just pop that first colour on your eye like we did before. And that's absolutely fine, that's really all you need. This is just giving you a little bit extra. And of course those, the colours that don't shine, you can always use those on your lids as well if you want to. The only reason I didn't do them this time is because I knew I was going to put this second colour on. So if you're going to use two colours, use a shiny one and then a non-shiny one. If you're only going to use the one colour, shiny or non-shiny, doesn't matter, just pick the colour you like. Don't go too dark though. It'll make it look as if you've got a black eye, and I don't really want that. Alright, and then the next bit, you remember that gel that we used to tidy our eyebrows up? We're going to go into that again. Now if you look, have I got any, if you get any powder come down here like this, your big powder brush that you put your powder on in the first place, just gently sweep like that, and any bits of eyeshadow that have fallen down will just go. They'll disappear. Alright, so we'll go back into that brow gel and we're going to put this on our eyelashes. Now I can't, if I had £1 for every time I have poked myself in the eye with one of these, I would be a very, very rich lady. So I'm going to show you the easiest way to do this without poking yourself in the eye. So first off, you look straight ahead, right, and you put the wand right at the bottom of your lashes. Give it a little wiggle side to side, and then very gently blink your lashes through the brush. So put them at the bottom of the lashes, give it a wiggle, gently blink it through the brush. And now your parents shouldn't have any worries with you wearing this, because obviously you're not adding colour to your lashes, you're just putting a little bit of gel on them, and we're just going to wipe a little bit of gel on the bottom ones, because, you know, we might have got a little bit of eyeshadow on them, and this helps to take the eyeshadow off. And when you get older, you can always get a coloured mascara, like a brown one or a black one. I've even got a blue one. But for the minute, this clear mascara really is all you need. Okay, right, let's zoom you back out again. And what we're going to do now is a little bit of lipstick. Now, the one I've got here is actually a lipstick at one end, and at the other end it has a gloss. And to be honest, glosses are probably better for you because they're quite moisturising, so they stop your lips from drying out. So we're going to put some gloss on today. Let's bring you back in a little bit, because you can see, look, all this snow we've had has really dried my lips out. So I'm going to use this gloss because it will help moisturise my lips a little bit. So the applicator is just a flat applicator like this. And all we do is run it on our bottom lips, press our lips together, and then at the top, on the top of your lip, you have what's known as your Cupid's bow. That's the little bit that's like an M. So now with the very tip of the applicator, you just draw the M on, colour in any bits that haven't got any gloss on them yet. Put your lips together again. That's it, you're done. Right, I am going to do something with my hair and I will be right back. Don't go anywhere now. See, told you it wouldn't be long. And it's that easy. It really is that easy. If you need it, a little bit of concealer for any spot breakouts you might have, a little bit of powder, clear brow gel, which you also use on your lashes, eyeshadow palette, 2 brushes and some lip gloss. And then that hopefully will be enough makeup for you to feel more grown up, but not too much that mum and dad don't like it. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you found it fun. If you did, perhaps you'd like to push the like button down there and maybe tell me in the comments, do you like these colours? Do you like these peachy colours? What do you think? Are they pretty? Alright. Don't forget though, before you put any makeup on, clean your skin. Use a spot cream if you have any spots. Use a moisturiser, and if your moisturiser doesn't have sunscreen in, always use a sunscreen. Even if you are not going to wear any makeup, please make sure you moisturise and please make sure you use sunscreen. Those are the most important parts of your makeup. And the other really important thing to remember, never, ever, ever go to bed without taking your makeup off. You can take it off with wipes and then go and wash your face. But the wipes will take this off your lashes without you having to get soap in your eyes. Alright, hope you enjoyed it. See you again soon. Bye bye for now.